Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, live from Richard Lynch Gymnasium here in Swampscott High School. Back for another girls varsity. I'm Josh Harriman. Join me is Paul Vervunis. Thanks for joining us here tonight. And tonight, your Swampscott Big Blues going up against Winthrop Vikings.
Thanks, Josh. As it's the home opener here for the girls in Swampscott as they look to expand after a 1-0 win in their last game away on the road. They look to make it 2-0 here, and I'm looking forward to an exciting game. They have some new players on varsity, and it's going to be a good season for the girls.
And Swampscott with the win of the face-off. Whistle is immediately blown. Swampscott's going to throw it back in from Winthrop's. Passed over to Canders. Canders over to Farnham. Farnham over to Tripp. Tripp over to Quagrello. Back over to Tripp. Seems that's actually passed over to Ward. Ward back to Tripp. Ward over to Quagrello. Back over to Tripp. The Big Blue bring the play down bring the play down to their own pace. Tripp trying to bring the ball into the paint. Try to bring it into the paint, but it's taken away. It is taken away by Conway. Passed over to Ferguson. Ferguson slowing the game down to her pace. Ferguson still trying to find a way into the paint. Finds Barry. Barry loses possession of the ball, but picks it right back deep and bounce pass over to Conway. Up into the paint is blocked. Tripp with the ball for Swampscott. Tripp with the pass over to Ward. Back over to Tripp, over to Quagrello. Quagrello over to Canders. Canders back over to Farnham. In the paint, Canders, and it's an easy two. Swampscott's up on the board early.
Canders, after a great 8th grade year on JV, leading the team. Already made the varsity starting lineup as a freshman. You don't see that very often, Josh.
Ball goes out of Winthrop. Swampscott will get the ball at half court. A pass from Canders over to Quagrello. Back over to Canders. Canders over to Tripp in the corner. Tripp over to Quagrello. Passed over to Canders. Canders going up for shoot and is brought down. Caught by Ferguson. Winthrop with the ball at half court. 6:04 left in the first. Swampscott still up by 2. Ferguson looking for the 3 off the rim and goes out. Rebound by Quagrello. Passed over to Ward. Ward over to Tripp. Tripp over to Quagrello. An attempted shot goes into paint, goes out off of Winthrop. Swampscott gets the ball. Quagrello with the throw-in over to Canders. Canders looking for the 3 off the rim. And Winthrop will get the ball back. Bogus over to Ferguson. looking for an easy three is Lindinger. And a rebound by Conway. Winthrop is on the board, 2-2. Quagliarello with the ball over to Canders, over to Tripp in the corner. And an attempt to pass over to Farnham is successful. Back over to Tripp. Back over to Quagliarello. Quagliarello rushing into the paint. Recovered by Bogues. Passed over to Ferguson. Ferguson passed over to Lindinger. Looking for a three, and it's there. Winthrop's up by 3, 5-2 and late in the first. Canders with the ball at half court. Canders with the pass over to Quagliarello. Over to Tripp in the corner once again. Tripp over to pass to Farnham, over to Canders, over to Quagliarello in the corner. Off the rim. Rebound by Winthrop, but gets lost in transition. Canders with a three. Off the rim and backboard. Rebound by Winthrop. Lindinger with a pass over to Ferguson. Ferguson bringing the pace of the game down to her own speed. 4:12 left in the first. And with that, Swampscott's going to call up a foul. And a timeout is called. 4:09 left in the first period. Winthrop up by 3, 5-2.
Low scoring first quarter here in Swampscott, but I think as the game goes on, both teams get more and more comfortable as they've been just trying to feel out the game, see what happens. You have Canders in her debut on varsity at home, 1 for 4 from the field, 1 for 2 in the paint with 2 points, with the only 2 points for the Big Blue. Winthrop getting off stronger, though. They've gotten lots of shots up and gotten some good looks trying to outscore the Big Blue defense, and it's been working so far.
Swampscott out of their timeout. Winthrop just getting out of theirs. 4:09 left in the first period. Winthrop up by 3. And it's going to be Bailey Ferguson up at the line for her first 2.
First free throw of the game for both sides.
Makes the first one in. And makes her second one. She's 2 for 2. That's going to bring up the lead by. It's going to bring up the lead 7-2 Winthrop. And it's going to be Canders to the pass over to Quagliarello.
Big Blue have an important possession here.
Farnham with the pass over to Canders. Back over to Quagliarello. Quagliarello with the 3. Off the rim. And rebounded by Winthrop. Ferguson with the ball. Ferguson with the pass. Oh, Ferguson with the pass over to Lindinger. Off the rebound by Tripp. Looking for the ball, and it goes out of bounds. Winthrop will get the ball right back at half court. 3:34 left in the first. 7-2 Winthrop.
GR checking in the game for the Big Blue. After being a swing last year, she made her way onto the 6-man role for the Big Blue.
Ferguson with the 3 off the rim and rebounded by her teammate. Lost in possession, saved by the Big Blue. Tripp put the pass over to Quagliarello. Quagliarello rushing into the paint, trying to pass it over to Giard. And whistle is blown. Winthrop's going to have their first substitution for the game. going to be Tysotis with a pass. A pass over to Tysotis, blocked by Quagliarello. Finds Canders outside the paint. And it's going to be a double dribble off of Canders. Winthrop gets the ball. 2:57 left in the first. Swampscott still trailing 7-2.
Swampscott just need to take their time, play their game. Nope, those shots will fall.
A pass over to Ferguson. Ferguson rushing into the paint. Attempted pass over to Barry, and it's an easy 2. Swampscott down by 7. It's 9-2 with 2:41 left in the first. A bounce pass attempt from Quagliarello over to Giard. Went up with the throw and a far pass over to Ferguson. Over to Showa. A handoff pass over to Ferguson. Ferguson trying to get into the paint. Outside is Lindinger. And a layup from inside the paint goes off. And both teams are on the ground fighting for the ball. And Swampscott is going to win the ball. 2:08 left in the first. A pass from Canders over to Quagliarello. Canders. Pass over to Byrne. Off the rim. Winthrop fighting for the ball, and it's Showa wins possession, loses possession, picked up. Then passed over to Tysotis. Pass over to Ferguson. 1:44 left in the first. 20 seconds left on shot clock. Ferguson still with possession of the ball. Bounce pass over to Showa. Whistle is blown, and the ball doesn't go in. 1:29 left in the first.
Winthrop shooting 2 for 2 at the line.
Showa makes the first one in. Tripp is coming back into the game, subbing out for Canders. Doesn't get the second one in. It's 1 for 2. A far pass over to Ferguson. Ferguson looking for a shot off the rim. Almost rebound. Picked up by Tripp. Passed over to Quagliarello. Quagliarello up in the paint. Gets fouled.
Big Blue with a chance to break their scoring drought. Haven't scored in the past 5 minutes of the game. Got some good looks, but haven't been able to fall yet.
And now Quagliarello's first 2 of the game. Misses the first one. Misses the second one, rebounded by Ferguson.
Drought continues for the Big Blue. Have to break it soon if they want to stay in this game.
Ferguson with a tip by Quagliarello. Fighting for it on the ground. Passed over, stopped and stolen by Byrne. Passed over to Quagliarello. Quagliarello over to Tripp. Tripp up into the paint. Out over off the rim. It goes off. An attempted shot by Giard. Rebounded by Ferguson. 32 seconds left in the first. Swampscott down by 8. A pass over to Baux. Off the rim. Rebounded by Giard. Giard with the pass over to Quagliarello. 17 seconds left. Over to Tripp. Tripp with the bounce pass over to Quagliarello. 8 seconds left in the first. Quagliarello still with the ball, trying to get into the paint. Bounce pass over, off the rebound, picked up by Winthrop. Caught by Ferguson, and that is going to do it for the first period. Winthrop leading Swampscott by 8. It's 10-2.
Low-scoring game. The Big Blue have gotten a lot of great shots, but they haven't been able to hit them. As I believe they are shooting. They're shooting 1 for 4 as a team. They haven't gotten a ton of shots up. They're shooting 1 for 4 within the two. As a whole, they're shooting 1 for 10. 10% from the field is not a winning recipe, Josh. The Big Blue want to stay in. They got to keep taking those open shots, get in the paint, get some layups up. It's all mental in the game of basketball. If you miss 3 shots in a row, chances are the 4th one's not going to be any closer. So get in the paint, get some good looks. Still 3 quarters left of the game. Keep your heads up if you're Swampscott.
And with Winthrop, will start off with the ball here in the beginning of the second. It's going to be Bose with the ball passed over to Ferguson. Excuse me, that's actually going to be passed over to Lindinger. Passed over to Conway. Over to Girian. Poked by Giard. Pass over from the second. A far 3 off the rim. Rebounded by Bowers. Tripp rushing down into the paint, trying to get some points. And it will go off of Winthrop. Swampscott will keep the ball down into their end. Pass from Quagliarello over to Tripp. Over to Byrne. Back over to Quagliarello in the corner. Bounce pass over the Tripp. Tripp outside. Off the rim. And Winthrop gets the rebound. And attempted pass over to Lindinger over to Bose. Pass over to Girian. Over to Lindinger. Off the knee, picked up by Bogues.
Second tipped pass from Quagliarello.
Quagliarello with her third tip, rebounded by Byrne. Byrne with the pass over to Quagliarello. Quagliarello bringing it down and fouled. It's going to go in for the Big Blue.
Have to love that if you're Swampscott. Great play by Lila Giard, getting in the paint, getting a shot, taking the foul, sending her to the line for 1.
Giard with her is 1 for 1 after sinking it in. Swampscott's down by 5. And a bounce pass from Bogues over to Conway. Back over to Bogues, trying to find an open teammate in the background. Finds Tesaudis. Tesaudis with a pass over to Girian. Girian over to Lindinger. Lindinger with a 3 goes off the rim. Rebounded by Conway. Off the knee, back over to Conway, back over to Lindinger, trying to go into the paint, stolen by Giard. Passed over to Quagliarello. Quagliarello still with the ball inside rushing into the paint. And an easy layup for 2. Swampscott is down by 3. And tipped by Quagliarello once again in the background, fouled. And Quagliarello is going to go back to the line for 2. 6 minutes left into the second. Swampscott down by 3. And timeout is called by Miss Leonard.
Quagrello starting to get involved in the offense. This is what you have to see out of the sophomore, shooting 1 for 3 from the game. And she also has 3 steals. Half of the team steals with a total of 6 for the Big Blue. No, it's been all Swampscott, 5-0 run. If you're Swampscott, got to keep that pressure going, keep getting those shots up, and you'll be in the lead in no time.
Both teams out of their timeout, and Olivia Quagrello going back up to the line for 2.
Coming off the steal, getting a shot up, taking the foul, sending it to the line for 2 shots. 0 for 2 so far in this game. Hopefully that'll change with the next one.
Sinks the first one, is 1 for 3. And missed his second one, is 1 for 4. A pass from Burton over to Tripp. And with that, another foul.
Tripp faking the pass, caught the defender, taking a step back. All she needs to drive down, take the foul. Back to the baseline for the Big Blue.
And it's going to be a pass in from Quagrello. Quagrello with the bounce pass and an easy 2 for Giard. It is a tied game with 5:47 left in the second. Ferguson being double teamed. And it's taken away. Quagrello in the back paint. Almost an easy 2, but it's a little bit too high, and rebound by Winthrop. Quagrello playing great defense, is trying to stop the ball carrier getting any further. Bogues with the ball for Winthrop. Passed over to Showa. Lindinger in the corner, and it's an easy 3. Winthrop's back up, leading 13-10 with 5:14 left in the first half. Quagrello with the ball. Pass over to Tripp, over to Byrne in the corner. Back over to Ward, goes up and gets fouled.
Ward taking her first 2 shots of the game.
Sinks the first one. She's 1 for 1. And makes the second. She's 2 for 2. It's a 1-point game. 13-12 Winthrop. And a pass over from Lindinger over the Bosk. And a far pass over to Showa. Whistle is blown and traveled. Swampscott will get the ball. Ward with the pass over to Quagrello. Quagrello over to Tripp, over to Byrne. Byrne over, almost stolen, brought back by Swampscott, over to Giard. Quagrello with the steal. And Lindinger steals it back for Winthrop. And a pass over to Ferguson. An attempted layup made by Ferguson, but gets fouled. She'll go to the line for 2. Misses the first one.
It's her first miss at the free throw line, now shooting 2 for 3.
But makes her second, and it's a 2-point game. 14-12, 4:18 left in the first half. Quagliarella with the ball. Pass over to Ward. Ward over to Byrne. Over to Giard. Giard back over to Quagliarella. Quagliarella over to Ward. Ward over to Tripp. Tripp with the 3 off the rim and gets rebound by Ferguson. Ferguson slowing the game down. Passed over to Bogues. And a pass over and gets
Offensive foul called on the play onto Showa, giving the ball back to the Big Blue.
Thank you, foul called onto Showa. Both teams making substitution. 3:40 left in the first half.
Giard hitting the bench, scoring 5 out of the team's 12 points.
And a pass from Ward over to Quagliarella. Timeout called by Swampscott.
Timeout called on the Big Blue. The Big Blue have just entered the bonus. Winthrop fouling a lot this game. The Big Blue taking advantage, shooting 4 for 7 from the line. So a good percentage if you're Swampscott. You have to live with that. Shooting 4 for 16 after starting 1 for 10. So they've hit 3 out of their last 6 shots. So ever since starting to hit some of their shots, they've caught up, and now they're down 2, entering the timeout. 3.5 minutes left in the first half. Still anyone's ball game.
Out of the timeout. 3:34 left in the first half. Winthrop leading by 2. Swampscott has the ball after the offensive foul on Winthrop. It's going to be Quagliarella with a throw in for him over to Byrne, back over to Quagliarella. Quagliarella still with the ball. A paint pass being stopped by Winthrop. Saving it from going out of bounds is Ferguson. Excuse me, that's actually going to be Lindinger. Passed over to Bogues. Hand passed over to Ferguson. Ferguson rushing into the paint. Off the backboard. Rebound by Winthrop. An attempted shot by Barry. Unsuccessfully goes over the rim. And it's going to be Quagliarella with the ball for Swampscott. 2:45 left in the second. And it's going to be Tripp with the pass over to Ward. Ward with the pass over to Farnham. Farnham over to Quagliarella. Quagliarella back over to Farnham. Back over to Byrne. Over to Tripp inside the paint.
Shot clock winding down.
And it's stolen by Winthrop. Almost poked away by Tripp. Ferguson with the ball. Ferguson going for a paint pass. Stolen by Ward. Ward with the pass over to Farnham. With a far pass over to Byrne. Back over to Farnham. Farnham over to Quagliarella. Quagliarella over to Tripp. Tripp over to Farnham. Over to Quagliolo in the corner. Over to Byrne in the paint. Off the rim and rebounded by Barry. 1:41 left in the first half. Swampscott still down by 2. Ferguson with the ball for Winthrop. Ferguson trying to shake Quagliolo. Gets up into the paint and goes in for a 2. Swampscott down by 4. Quagliolo with the ball. 1:16 left in the first half. Quagliolo over to Ward. Ward going up off the rim. And a rebound by Barry. Passed over to Ferguson. Ferguson rushing into the paint, goes far past the net. 59.7 seconds here left in the first half. Swampscott down by 4. Ward with the pass over to Quagliolo. Quagliolo over the trip, over to Burns. Byrne over to Ward. 40 seconds left. Ward over to Quagliolo. Quagliolo rushing into the paint, gets poked away and picked up by Ferguson. 32 seconds left here in the first half, excuse me. Ferguson gets it poked away by Quagliolo. An attempt to pass over to Bogues.
Shot clock turned off.
16 seconds left in the first half. Ferguson with the ball. Is going to bring it down to her own pace. Passed over to Barry. Up and over the net. Over with Byrne. 3 seconds left. Goes a little bit high, and that is going to be it for the first half. Swampscott trailing by Winthrop 16-12, down by 4. And with that, we're going to head into halftime. But Swampscott's definitely been doing a great job trying to keep up with Winthrop during the first 2 periods.
Swampscott definitely keeping up, starting off a little slow, trying to figure out the tempo of the game. Once they figured it out, they were doing good, coming back. And then they kind of slowed down to end the half. Definitely some stuff to work on if you're Swampscott. It's still early in the season. They can definitely figure it out. On top of this game, they're shooting 4 for 12 from 2. 0 for 8 from 3 is the big red flag. Haven't hit a single three-pointer shot. Have gotten some great looks behind the line, just haven't been able to fall. Those need to start hitting, though, if they want to win down the stretch in this game. But 10-minute halftime intermission. We'll catch you right back after the intermission. We are back underway with the Big Blue being down by 4. 16-12 is the score after two. The Big Blue lost the tip-off, so they'll start with the ball in the third quarter. See Canders back in, both teams running out their starters. Quagrello with the ball for the Big Blue. In the corner to Canders. Out to Ward. Ward in the corner to Quagrello. Fakes, thought about it, drives. Quagrello double team, layup no good. Out of bounds, it'll stay with the Big Blue. Big Blue running a stack play. Hits Canders. Canders with a tough layup, no good. Fighting for the rebound, gets her own rebound. Finds Tripp out in the wing. Tripp slowing down the game. Quagrello, 23 seconds left on the shot clock, plenty of time. Quagrello in the corner, Ward toughly defended. Out to Canders in the wing. Crossover, out to Ward, her first three of the game, bouncing, no good, rebounded by Tishoa. Ferguson bringing up the ball for the Vikings. First possession of the half for the Vikings. Ferguson. Out to the top of the key. That is Bogues. Back to Ferguson. Inside to Tishoa. Double team. Wide open three in the corner. Shot is good. Sophia Lindinger. I believe that's her second three of the night. Quagrello bring up the ball for the Big Blue. Down 7. In the corner to Canders, in the paint with Ward. Out to Tripp. Tripp to Quagrello. Screen set by Canders and rolling. Out to Tripp. Tripp to Ward. Ward thought about it. Trying to go inside. Turnover as it was Farnham who couldn't hold on for the Big Blue. Winthrop up by 7. Going inside. Out of bounds, it'll go back to Swampscott. Lily Conway, the captain for the Vikings, couldn't hold on that time. Big Blue get another chance on offense. Quagrello. Up to Farnham. Farnham to Ward. Ward's three. No good, wide left. Quagrello and Tripp fighting for the ball. Winthrop hold on. Ferguson with the ball. Ferguson with the ball for the Vikings. Ferguson driving, foul called on the way up. That'll be 2 shots at the line. First 2 shots at the line for Ferguson. First one is good. Winthrop up by 8. Giard checking back into the game. 5 out of the team's 12 points off the bench for Lilo Giard. Second shot at the line is up and good. 9-point lead for the Vikings. Swampscott haven't led since the start of the game. They need to get some shots going up, and they need to start hitting some shots. Canders on the drive. Simple layup miss. Tripp fighting for the rebound. Couldn't hold on. Those are the layups that you need to hit in practice. Travel called on Ferguson. Big Blue happy with that call. Get another chance on offense. Need to get some shots going here. Quagrello on the inbound. Out to Canders. Canders trying to fake out to Showa. Double teamed and taken away by Ferguson. Swampscott yet to score in the second half. Under 5 minutes now remaining. Driving is Ferguson. Out to Lindinger. Her shot. Bouncing, no good. Trying to get her own rebound. They do. Out to Teshoa on the paint. It's good. Up by 11 are the Vikings. Quagliarello driving, taking herself. Foul called. Lindinger not happy with that call. Quagliarello taking her, I believe that's her third and fourth shot at the free throw line. Quagliarello 1 for 4 at the line. Fifth and sixth shot incoming. Shots up and good. 2 for 5. 40% at the line. Not numbers we're used to seeing out of Quagliarello at the free throw line. And that one is good as well. 3 for 6. Timeout called for Swampscott. Only 2 points at the half scored for the Big Blue are by the free throw line. Josh, what do you think the Big Blue needs to do to come back?
Oh, they definitely got to. They definitely got to start closing down the gaps that they have in their defense. Because what Winthrop's trying to do is they're trying to separate the defensive line, try to find their gaps in that line and go through them through the paint and up for the easy twos.
The Vikings definitely have a bigger lineup than the Big Blue with their center and forwards, taking advantage, scoring most of their points in the paint in this half. Big Blue down by 9, still anyone's ball game. 4.5 minutes left in the third. The Big Blue were down this big, made a run earlier in the game to come back, bring it down to 2. Haven't done anything since then, but this timeout is crucial to regroup for the Big Blue in their second game and try to take the lead here. Timeout intermission is over. Back on the floor now. Winthrop with the ball. Big Blue, you can already tell they're trying to press here. Force some turnovers. They've already gotten 7 steals in the game. Big Blue are pressing. Quagliarello on the front line. Cander's right behind. Winthrop made it. In the corner, thought about it. Lindinger. Tipped away by Canders. Vikings still have it. Shot up, air ball. Ferguson couldn't get a hold of that shot. The press already threw off the Vikings enough to get the Big Blue back the ball. Under 4 minutes left in the third quarter. Canders. Inside to Quagliarello. Quagliarello, tough shot, foul called. Quagliarello back at the line. This is what she likes to do. Quagliarello shooting 2 for 5 at the line. Shot is good. 3 for 6, 50% at the line for Olivia Quagliarello. Every point crucial here for Swampscott. Air ball, slight communication by Canders. Jumped early, Quagliarello saw it, got in her head, shot no good. Press continues for the Big Blue. Canders stepping up on Teshoa. This is the matchup they want. Quagliarello fighting, forces the pass, tipped by Ward, still have it. Vikings. Pass inside, tipped out by Canders. Vikings retain. Canders able to shut it down, regroup. Inside, GR tips it. Halfway down with the shot clock. Ferguson. Ferguson out to Lindinger. Lindinger looking for an option. Finds Bogas. Shot by Lindinger, blocked. Shot clock blown. Shot clock violation on the floor. A little over 3 minutes left. Swampscott holding up defensively. This is their chance to make a run. Bring the lead down to 5 at the end of this third quarter, and you're looking in good shape. Kander's taking up the ball for the Big Blue. Kanders out to Quagliarello. Quagliarello too strong on the shot. Vikings can hold on the rebound, but they'll say it'll go back to the Vikings for possession. Big Blue keeping up the press. Out to Teshoa. Ward and Quagliarello trying to trap. Sotis out to Teshoa. Whistle blown. Travel called on the layup. Teshoa's count. Teshoa's shot won't count, excuse me. Quagliarello with the ball for the Big Blue. Quagliarello crossover out to Kanders. Crossover, Kanders on the layup, no good. Byrne with the rebound, right up. Off the back rim and out to Show with the rebound. Ferguson with the ball for the Vikings. Big Blue have to keep the pressure up. Ferguson trying to drive, hits the corner. Out to Teshoa. Teshoa driving. Quagliarello trying to steal, holds on. Giard in the paint, out to the corner by Ferguson. Ferguson driving, and it's blocked by Giard. Big Blue picking up the pace now. Ward, her three-pointer. Short. Quagliarello with the rebound. Inside to Giard. Giard out to Byrne to Quagliarello. Big Blue slowing it down. Shot clock reset. Quagliarello shot. It's good! 6-point game. Tipped away by Quagliarello. Can't hold on. Ward fighting. Ferguson gets it. Byrne trying to take it. 3-on-2. Out to the paint. Fake shot is good. Politiotis with the shot for the Vikings. Quagliarello out to Kanders in the corner. Kanders driving. Out to the wing by Ward. Her shot bounces out. Byrne with the rebound. Under a minute here in the third quarter. Kanders thought about it. Out to Ward. To Quagliarello. To Kanders. Thought about it. Driving. No foul called. It'll stay with Swampscott. Kanders will take the inbound for the Big Blue. Quagliarello out to Byrne. 40 seconds left. Vikings almost had a steal, but it goes out of bounds before anything can happen on the play. 8-point game. Quagliarello inbounds it to Ward. Shot is good by Kanders. 5-point game. Tip and stolen by Quagliarello. Inside to Kanders, shot up and foul. This is the pressure you need from Swampscott. And to Kanders going to the line for the Big Blue. Kanders at the line for 2 shots. First free throw is good. 4-point game. Kanders' second shot is good. 3-point game. Press has been working great for the Big Blue. 20 seconds left. Tough pass inside to Linninger. Passes out to Ferguson. 7 seconds. 5. Pressure by Canders. They need to get a shot up. Shots up. No good. Lily Conway in the little buzzer beater attempt shot. No good. It's a 3-point ball game here. Josh, the Big Blue have definitely picked up the pressure with the press. It's been working. They're down 3. What do they need to do to close out this game?
Definitely keep the same exact way that they've been going for the most of the third. As we saw in the beginning, they haven't been that good with getting points on the board. But as soon as halfway through the third got here, they started picking up their act and started getting more points on the board, especially that 3 from Canders.
You know, with the press, Josh, do you think fatigue will start playing an issue for the Big Blue, having to press that whole quarter just to bring it down to a 3-point game?
Honestly, it's going to keep on going like that for both sides because it's two good teams facing up against each other for the first opening game, and especially if it continues to be like this, where if they continue to be down by a couple more than 6 points, honestly, it might be game over. But honestly, knowing the great coaching by Coach Leonard, it'll definitely be more of a 2 or 3 point game.
You know, Josh, this is the second 7-0 run for the Big Blue, scoring 7 unanswered points consecutively. Entering the fourth quarter, we'll catch you right back after this intermission. Back underway as number 10 for the Vikings, Zoe Bogus, will take the inbound for the Vikings. 3-point game, Winthrop lead. Ferguson. Out to Bogus. Ciotis with the ball. Burgoyes passes inside. Bank shot is good. Amina Berry on the paint shot for the Vikings. 5-point game now. Vikings taking advantage of the paint. Quagliarello looking for a pick and roll. Wasn't there. Turnover for Olivia Quagliarello. Bailey Ferguson taking it up for the Vikings. Passes out to the wing. Pass inside, back out. Mid-range shot, air ball. Zoe Bogues, the captain, not able to get all of that shot. Canders taking up the ball for the Big Blue. Minute into the fourth quarter. Swampscott need another bucket to cut down the lead, get some momentum going. Canders out to Byrne, to Giard. Her first 3-pointer is long. Ferguson taking up the ball for the Vikings. Ferguson tripping. Bogus. Canders defending. 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Inside to the paint. Pressuring Giard. Bank shot is good. Big Blue have no answer for Amina, taking advantage of the paint. Seven-point game. Out to the corner. Canders. Out to Ward. Shot no good. Hasn't hit one from the 3-point yet. Ferguson. Hits Quagliarello's foot, but the referee will call it kickball violation. Pass is tipped and it'll stay with the Vikings. Ciotis will keep it under the paint. On the baseline, timeout called. Anthony Hatzivas calling a timeout, not liking what he saw from the inbound play. Josh, what do Josh, the Big Blue have slowed down to start this fourth quarter. 5 minutes and 50 seconds left. What do the Big Blue need to do to cut this lead back down to where it was?
And definitely start looking for more of the open pockets, like how Swampscott had in the early points of the third quarter. They had openings in their defense, and then Winthrop was able to find them and go through them to get the easy points. The Swampscott's just got to basically do the same with Winthrop. They got to find their weakness in the defensive line, cut through them, and hopefully to get some twos. Honestly, we'd like to see some threes here from the team. But honestly, you got to do what you got to do to get through the defense and get points on the board to make the lead more smaller than it already is.
Do you think three-pointers is a good idea for the Big Blue, shooting 1 for 9 from three as a team?
I mean, the season is still early. It's the first game. Honestly, you still got to warm up from the last time you play basketball. And it definitely is, and especially what we've seen from last year with Quagliarella and Ward being on varsity last year as well.
Very inefficient game from three for the Big Blue. Passes out to Ferguson. Tipped. Big Blue can't find it back. Big Blue need a stop here. Out to Ferguson. Screen set. Ferguson on the shot. It's good. 9-point lead. Quagliarella trying to get it out, taken away by Winthrop. Ferguson. And taken away by Quagliarella. Quagliarella in the fast break, paint pass to Giard, shots up, no good. Second simple layup. Need to be hitting those late in the game. 9-point lead for the Vikings. Taken away and intercepted by Canders. Big Blue have to pick up the pace here. Not much time left. Canders driving. Taking it herself. Layup is up. No good. Rebound Conway. Ferguson taking it up. Screen set. Ferguson on the go-ahead three, no good. Offensive rebound. Teotis on the rebound. Byrne defending. Shots up. No good. Almost went in. Would have been a crazy shot for Winthrop. Quagliarella taking it up. Inside to Canders. Ball bouncing. They say it goes back to the Vikings. Late substitution made. Tripp checking in for Giard. And timeout called. The Big Blue needs to regroup, down by 9. Josh, how good do the Big Blue need to be playing to come back late in this game?
And especially with the time that we have left, a little bit under 10 seconds. 3:49 left in the final quarter here. Honestly, they got to start playing a little bit more aggressive than they already have. I mean, it's still they're down by 9, but honestly, if they start trying to find the easy open routes, they'll more than likely make a comeback here late in the fourth.
Big Blue have been down big twice in this game already. Came back from both of them, cutting it down to 3 and 5-point leads. Down by 9 late, under 4 minutes left in the game. If this might be a little too far-fetched for the Big Blue, but anything is possible here. As we'll cut it right back after the timeout.
And if you haven't already, make sure to follow us on YouTube at Swampscott Big Blue Athletics to know when we to never miss a live stream or a game, and to follow us on Instagram at Swampscott_TV to be notified when we are live. Next game here at Richard Lynch Gymnasium. The boys are back for another home game Friday night at 7.
It's going to be a game you don't want to miss as Winthrop inbound. Big Blue back to the press. They might have had to do this earlier. As it's taken away by Canders. Canders one-on-one. Layup is good. 7-point game. And timeout called right away.
An instant timeout by Winthrop.
I agree with that timeout call. Their team, whenever the Big Blue have been pressing, it's been working nonstop. Hatzi Voss for the Vikings, the head coach, called timeout right away. Needs to regroup, make sure nothing too crazy happens with a 7-point lead. 3.5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. We'll cut it right back after the timeout. Back underway after the timeout. Big Blue going to keep up the press, I'm assuming, as it's been working all game. Boga's inbounding the play for the Vikings. Vikings have to get something going quick. 8 seconds. Has to be coming soon. Passes up, and 8 seconds is called. Good defense for the Big Blue. Needed to get that possession back. Canders on the inbound. 7-point game. The Big Blue needs to be playing perfect here. Canders on the screen. Quagliarello thought about it. Out to Ward. Her three-pointer. No good. Hasn't hit one yet in the game. Tripp fighting for the ball back. Whistle blown. Jump ball called. It'll stay with Swampscott. Hatzibas not happy with that call, but the Big Blue hold on to possession.
Swampscott definitely starting to play aggressively, especially with almost 3 minutes left here in the fourth.
Big Blue needs to keep the pressure up. Passing to Canders. Double team out to Tripp in the corner. Her shot short. Quagliarello fighting for the rebound. Ref calls. It'll go back to the Vikings. To Showa. Tripp on the press. It's taken away by Byrne. Byrne. Tripp. Thought about it. Out to Quagliarello. Slowing it down. Quagliarello driving. Out to Tripp in the corner. Three. Back rim. Rebounded by Winthrop. Ferguson bringing it up. Quagliarello reach. It'll stay with the Vikings. 2.5 minutes left in the game. Bogus on the inbound. Hits Ferguson. Every stop here is crucial for Swampscott. Ferguson. Quagliarello reaches. Goes out of bounds. It'll stay with the Vikings. 16 seconds left in the shot clock. Winthrop already got called on one shot clock violation. Into Ferguson. Ward pressing up. Into Teshoa on the layup. Blocked. Out to Canders. Canders bringing it up. Canders driving. Takes it out to Byrne. Out to Quagliarello. To Ward. Her three-pointer. Bounce. No good. It'll stay with Swampscott. Under 2 minutes left in the game. Big Blue are getting the looks, but they need to be hitting the shots if they want to come back down late. Quagliarello out to Canders. Her shot short. These are the looks you need to be hitting for Swampscott down late. Winthrop with another chance to end the game. Taken away by Canders. Canders running it. One-on-one layup is good. 5-point game. Big Blue pressing. Canders almost got it, couldn't. Pass and set to Shoshua, too strong. It'll go back to Swampscott.
Swampscott getting more aggressive on defense than they ever have, especially being down by 5. 31-26 with 1:25 left in as Canders has the ball.
Canders bringing it up. Out to Tripp. Tripp has it. On the layup. Tripp no good. Tripp fighting for it right back. Minute 10. Tripp fouling on the play. Down 5. Bogus inbounding for the Vikings. Into Ferguson. Canders trying to reach, couldn't get it. Double team now. Timeout call. Under a minute left, 5-point game. Josh, 5-point game, down. The Big Blue are down with under a minute left. What do the Big Blue need to be doing to win this game?
Definitely trying to get more aggression on defense with the ball carrier. Other than that, their passing has been great throughout the game, and they honestly worked a little bit on their shooting. But other than that, just needs two two-pointers or a 3 and a 2-pointer to tie it up.
Any shot here, if they can score without Winthrop scoring, would be big to cut it down to a single-score game. Under a minute left. I'd assume Swampscott need to go all out, aggressive, take the ball at any chance, maybe even start fouling if you need to. The Big Blue did get the shots that they needed up at the end. Couldn't hit any of them, though. Other than a couple steals and layups by Canders, the Big Blue haven't scored much in this fourth quarter. Have Tripp, Quagrello, Byrne, Ward, and Canders in for the Big Blue. Running a bit of a smaller lineup for Coach Leonard. Bogus looking. Inbounds, foul by Byrne. Winthrop have been shooting good at the line. Bogus on the inbound once again for the Vikings. Shoshua. Tripp trying to fight and reaches and foul called. They're not in the bonus yet. Bogus on the inbound once again. Byrne trying to take it, foul called. They're still not in the bonus. Big Blue just gonna keep fouling. Inside. And Canders fighting and he can't hold on. And foul called. That was the look for Swampscott to try and take it. Couldn't hold on. So I believe that foul will send them into the that will send them to the bonus. At the line now is Bogus. Bogus at the line shooting 2. Bogus on the shot, no good. Rebound here is crucial for Swampscott. Doesn't matter, Bogus hits the shot. Big Blue needs to hurry. 45 seconds left. Quagrello down to Byrne. Byrne to Quagrello. Her first 3 of the game. Just right to show it with the rebound. Out to Bogus. Tipped by Byrne. No foul call. The Big Blue get the ball back. Canders trying. Canders can't believe she didn't get fouled as she loses. Timeout called by Coach Leonard. Now, Josh, it's looking like it's over here. The Big Blue down 6, under 30 seconds left as they're just going to keep fouling and pray for a miracle. What do you think has to happen for the Big Blue to even have a chance?
Definitely, definitely piling up on defense. As of right now, defense is the most important thing to worry about right now, so Winthrop won't get an earlier lead. I mean, they're already up by 6, but we don't want any more scoring from Winthrop here in the final seconds. As
the Big Blue need to just keep fouling, get this ball back, pray that they keep missing, get some three-pointers up as it hasn't been easy from 3. Shooting under, I believe, under 10%. Bogus on the inbound once again for the Vikings. Passes in, Big Blue pressing. Taken away by Quagliarello. Quagliarello loses it again. Byrne trying to reach, foul called. The Big Blue got 2 takeaways late in clutch time, but couldn't make anything off either of them. That is Ferguson at the line, shooting 2. Under 20 seconds left. Shot up, no good by Ferguson. Big Blue might have one last push at the end. Ferguson needs to miss this. And she does. Still a 2-possession game for the Big Blue. Tripp pushing it down the court. Tripp going all the way out to the corner. Shot up, no good. Rebound. Right to show up, fighting for it. And that will do it. Vikings hold on. The Big Blue couldn't score late, and they will lose the game. Josh, what do you have to say about this game as a whole?
Honestly, Swampscott held all the way through. They had great offense throughout the game. They started to lose it within the beginning of the third and lost it a little bit into the late fourth. But honestly, still, Swampscott had a great game here tonight.
You can't win them all as the Big Blue now are 1-1 on the season. Still early, plenty of time to figure it out. As that will do it for us here at Swampscott Big Blue Athletics. Make sure to tune in on Friday where the boys will play at home here in Swampscott. Make sure to subscribe to Swampscott Big Blue Athletics and turn on notifications so you never miss another game. Make sure to also follow us at Swampscott_TV for live updates. That'll do it for me, Paul Vargunas, and my co-announcer, Josh Harriman. Good night.